Hello you guys, and welcome back to another video. Today is a very exciting day because it is the opening day of fishing season here in Northern Saskatchewan. So it is May 25th, and this afternoon my goal is to get a little bit of stuff done around the house in terms of chores and then hopefully head out and do some fishing. It is a Saturday, and so I'm really looking forward to that. Also, huge apology to any of my fellow hairdressers that are watching this. There's no hairdresser up here, so I do cut my own hair. It worked, and I'm actually pretty happy with how even it is. There's a little bit in the back that I need to wait until my partner is back from down south to help fix up, but I just needed a spring chop and I wasn't gonna drive 15 hours to a hairdresser to do it, so we're doing it ourselves up here and learning along the way. So if you see anything weird with my hair, no you don't. The other really nice thing is that all of the leaves are starting to come out on the trees. I don't know how well it's gonna pick up. Tyga is engaging in his favorite game called Catch the Flies on the Window. And while this is mostly going to be a fishing trip, we are going to bring the binoculars as well in case we see some shorebirds. I'm almost at 100 bird species for this year so far in Saskatchewan, so I'm really hoping that I can bump those numbers up over 100. Last year I got 121 species for the province over the whole year, so the fact that it's May and I'm almost at last year's total is really, really encouraging. So I don't know if I've really gone over my fish tanks in the office before, but I do have 4 fish tanks in my office where I am. So I have 1, 2, 3 10-gallon tanks, and then this one is a 15-gallon. And finally, the killifish and flagfish. So these fish have actually spawned in this tank a couple times, and there are some babies that are hiding around. So I'm curious to see if I will be able to catch one on camera because they are very, very tiny. But I will take a look and see if I can find any. I found one. So that is one of the little baby killifish. And Tyga doesn't help very much with chores, so he's just gonna nap instead. Alright, we are out here on the Fond Du Lac River. And luckily, I don't have to go very far to go fishing because this is actually in town. On the other side is actually our grocery store. So that's the Northern store. And I was able to pick up a quick drink so that I don't get too thirsty out here because it's quite warm today. I have my buff if the wind picks up, but basically what we're hoping today for is either a pike or a walleye. Most likely is what we're gonna catch here. Right in front of me is kind of a beachy spot, and it drops off really quick into a deep pool where there's a lot of current flowing through. There is a lot of rocks, and we are probably gonna lose hooks today, so the goal is to keep it nice and sweet. So I'm gonna show you guys what I'm using, and then we're gonna try to catch a fish for dinner. So I'm keeping my setups very simple. We're either using just a plain jig and some kind of tail in a similar setup to this, or we're using spoons because they are gonna break off, we are gonna lose them, so we're not using expensive lures. We're just trying to catch fish. Okay, so for a rod, we are using a medium heavy fast action rod. It's probably a bit overkill for sure. This is the rod that I had already set up. And then I have a Quantum Accurist bait cast on. And since we still had a good old spoon tied on, a black 5 of diamonds, that's what we're gonna start with. We're gonna see if we can catch anything. So I'm not using any special technique when fishing from shore, mostly just casting out as far as I can and then bringing the hook back slow enough that it'll sink a little bit in the water column, but also fast enough that it won't get stuck on any of the rocks in the bottom. It's gonna take a little bit to figure out that balance when you're fishing, but just keep trying, and if you get snagged on a rock, try to go the opposite direction of how you were reeling in to hopefully help you get unsnagged. Well, I don't know if that was in frame, but I just lost my hook. So that was probably a pike. In all reality, I should have a leader on, but I can't find them right now. So that was probably a bad knot on my part, but we're gonna tie on just a jig and a tail and try again. So that was not bad. I think that was literally the third cast. All right, so we've tied on just a hook and a tail, something a little bit smaller, so hopefully we can get it in the mouth this time. And the other thing is make sure you always have your gear ready to help with unhooking. So I have my pliers and my knife on the rock. The knife is for if we decide to keep a fish today, because we want to dispatch of them quickly so they don't have any suffering, because I don't have a stringer or anything to keep them alive, like a live well. So we're gonna see if we can still get one for dinner. Okay, this is take 2. Well, as you probably saw, that one broke off too. I might have to run home and get some leaders quick, because this is not working and I really don't like losing fish to hooks. So I'm gonna have to think of something else. All right, the leaders have been secured. Definitely should have done this from the start. If you're fishing for pike, it's just kind of always a good idea to have a leader on, and I know better. So do as I say, not as I do. So now we have line to the leader, leader to the spoon, and let's take 3. go, you guys. We got our first fish, and it's just a little baby one, so I'm gonna get it back right away. Alright, that was the first fish of the 2024 open water season. So I did have one get off. It threw the hook before this one, but I am looking for one to eat, but that one was just a little bit small, so hopefully if we get one just a little bit bigger, that'll be great. But so far so good. Alright, you guys, we are not having much luck with the spoon, so I'm going to switch up to a jig and a tail. Alright, we're going to try that same one that broke off last time. Not too bad, it got one so far.
A walleye?
Just a little pike, I put it back. It was just a little guy. Alrighty, here's fish number 2. This one's also a little bit too small for supper, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this one back too. Just 2 pikes so far. Just either a little bit bigger of a pike or a walleye. Yeah, thank you. Alright, you guys, it's 5 o'clock, which means it's time to go let the puppy out. We'll maybe come back after supper. Alright, you guys, I've decided to end the video there. I'm not going to go back out after eating now. I'm just going to spend the evening at home doing some knitting and relaxing with the puppy. He did really well in the crate and I don't want to push it, but we do have tomorrow and the whole rest of the summer season to go fishing, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. If you guys watched this far, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. It really helps me out, and we will see you guys in the next one.